Welcome, my brothers. You know who it is. I'm D. It's the Future Fathers FF podcast. Oh, I was about to say then. So, good evening, gentlemen, because it is while I'm recording this. I don't know what time it is when you're listening to it. Might be morning, afternoon, early evening, late evening, night time. I don't know. But my brothers, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing all right. How have you been? What you been up to? How's work been treating you? How's the children? How's the missus? You know, general questions. The questions we ask each other. Especially when we know each other, or even sometimes when we don't know each other, we just want to greet each other, make each other feel alright. I'm feeling alright. How you brothers doing? I'm okay. Fathers, all of you out there, I would just like to take the time to thank all of the new followers, all of the new subscribers, all of the new listeners, anyone that's listening for their first time today, I welcome you. We're building a very warm community of fathers who want to share ideas and experience life with like-minded brothers, people, fellow men, fellow fathers. Yeah, that's what it is about here. So guys, we've got the formalities out of the way. Yeah, you guys know how I've been doing. You always know how I've been doing because I like to tell you. It's like part of my introduction. But now we're getting into the meat and potatoes of today. All fathers, one question for you. How hard is it for you to get your children to do their chores? Because you know how old my two are. Yeah, I got big youths. Can't even call them youths no more, really. I'm living with two men, my children, two big men. Big in height and they're big. They're old enough to look after themselves. Yeah? Okay, so you know that. You know that I like to cook and they like to do their own thing, gymnastics, stunts, tricking, flips and tricks, all them kind of things there. All the good stuff. Fathers, let me tell you something. I have to give a big sigh for this. Yeah? My two youths, oh my gosh. Hey boy. If I tell you this, I have to talk to them a good few times, you know. Good few times. And they've been raised to do their chores. They still do them. Don't get me wrong. They still do them. Yeah? But why is it such a task if it's something you've grown doing? And the funniest thing is, I used to do the same thing myself, but I couldn't tell you what it is. I don't know. It's something. Well, I do actually. It's just being lazy. You don't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. But my mum kind of made man do the chores in the house. I had to. My two have to do their own stuff. But as with most parents, yeah, I've always been like, I don't really want to treat my children like how I was treated, which is most parents in general. And now I'm like, okay, maybe I should have been a little bit more. Maybe I should have said a little bit more. I do this to myself quite often. I don't know if anyone else does it. But do you question like the things you do as a dad? Do you question the things that you've said, the things that you didn't say, the things you maybe could have said or should have said, but you know, at the time you were, I don't know, there was something and you just didn't do it. But later on, with foresight, you're able to look back and you're able to, you know, think things over, think things through properly, a little bit more in depth. But that's with hindsight. That's after the situation's done. when you're there and you're in it and you're wondering to yourself, is this what I should be doing? Is this okay? And then you question yourself after. Bros, cuss the amount of time I've had to say something. And don't get me wrong, yes, certain time I do feel bad after saying something, because I feel like I'm cussing, and I'm not gonna say man's cussing for no reason, because I know there's a reason. I know there's well and truly a reason. But I don't know, man. I don't know whether it's just me. We're gonna jump back in this one with Nay as well, obviously, and you guys. But just thinking about it myself and wondering like, but you know, I don't have to do this or I don't have to do that. Because there's certain things that the boys do. They know that's their chores. You do this, you do that. Dad will come in and do certain things. Mum does certain things. But as youths, they're supposed to know, right, this is my responsibility. I tell you what, I've had some struggles with them too, you know. Some problems with them too. The older one, not so much now. Yeah, not so much now, because he's doing his own thing. And he looks after himself. Personal hygiene is good for the two of them. But it's little things like the younger one's room. Backside, let me tell you something. I'm sure this boy wants me to just talk to him every single day, just to say to him, pick that up. Don't put that there. That's not supposed to be there. Put that away. And brothers, I'm like, with me, I know myself. Yeah. And as a youth, I cannot remember when it was. But it was definitely before I had my children. But it was, I would like to say, just after I finished school, just like last year of school. So 15, 16, between 15 and 17. Yeah. There was a time where I remember it specific, well, not the exact date and time and day, yeah. But I remember there was a point where I used to get into trouble with my mum all the time, not picking up stuff, not cleaning stuff, not putting stuff away. Now I'm talking about a whole house, yeah, not just my room. There was times where man had to come in from school and prepare food. Man had to come in from school, tidy up the house. Man had to come in from school, go outside and cut grass. Yeah, wake up Sunday morning, man's having to cut and scale fish, clean and scale fish. Man's going and swinging chicken and seasoning chicken before church. Before church. You know that's early in the morning. Now I look at it and I'm like, okay, well, those are things that were needed to be learned in order for me to conduct myself the way that I do now. Don't think man's not done the same thing with my youths, because I see the necessity in it myself. But best believe, they're not me. They didn't have to live my life. They didn't have to live my lifestyle. Or should I say my mum's lifestyle, but my life. Yeah? Because let's not get it twisted. Yeah, it's not my lifestyle. It's my mum's lifestyle. Until I left the house. Then it's my lifestyle. But being taught all of that, then, to me it was like, oh, why do I have to do this? Why has it got to be me? Why can't my sister do this? And now I'm like, thanks, mum. No hesitation, like none at all. I'm glad, and I've told my mum this on numerous occasions. You have absolutely no idea how happy I am that my mum did that for me. Made me do my chores. There was no choice in the matter. There was no, dude, can you do this? It was, the dishes need to be done. make sure they're done before I get back from work. I've got a few hours before my mum comes back in from work. Or should I say, I've got a few hours between the time I get in from school or college and the time my mum finishes work. There's a good few hours. I got time. And there was a time where I'd go straight into my room, straight out to my friend's house, and come back late in the evening. Certain time I'd come back just before my mum and be like, oh, I need to do the dishes. Certain time my mum wouldn't even let me out the house until things was done. Now I'm only comparing myself because, in all honesty, I've got nobody else to compare this situation to. So when I'm talking about my children and what they're not doing, I'm only looking at the things that I had to do. And in the same sentence, or should I say at the end of that sentence, I'm going to say, yeah, but I don't want my children to do the same things I had to do. But, and this but absolutely counts. If you want your children to at least emulate certain things that you do or follow in your footsteps with certain things, there's some things that you have to do from your own childhood that you may have questioned before, but you now, as a parent, see the value and necessity in. My brothers, I did not get how important it was to learn how to cook for yourself. When I was scaling fish or having to cook food for me, my mum and my sister, or helping my mum cook food for me, my mum and my sister. And then me, my mum and my sisters. And then all of a sudden, it was me, my missus and my son. So now I've got all this knowledge in my head that I've never really had to use, but now I'm using and developing my own skills in it, because you have to. You can only remember so much. Unless you're constantly doing it all the time, you tend to forget little things. So cooking for me was the one thing that I harnessed majorly from a youth, and had to do that quick because I've got my son to feed. I want to feed myself. I want to feed my missus. So it was easy for me to say, all right, then I'm going to cook. And don't get it twisted. It wasn't just like, oh yeah, I cook from day one. No. This is over years, and I'm talking years. There was the point where I wasn't cooking food all the time, but my baking was way up. Baked all the time. Mum taught me how to do that as well. But it's bringing it back to having to do those chores, having to do those things as a child, and now looking at them and saying, but this is necessary. You have to do this. The amount of time, my brothers, I couldn't tell you. My fathers, yeah? I could not tell you how many times I've said to my two boys, I can't wait to see how you're going to be on your own. I feel absolutely sorry for you. Don't get it twisted, yeah? They know what they're doing and they know how to do things. But it's their lack of wanting to do things for themselves. And I purely understand that. You still live at home with mum and dad. So there's always going to be somebody else there to pick up behind you. But when you're on your own and you've got nobody to do that for you, there's nobody behind you telling you, you have to do this, you've got to do that, pick that up, put that away, you quickly tend to see how things can get out of hand. And that's with simple little things. Washing the dishes, sweeping the floor, washing your clothes, making your bed. You know, these are things that as children, as children growing, we look at and we're like, well, that's what you do. I don't have to do that. I don't have to make sure my clothes are clean. Because as children, our clothes are cleaned for us. Our parents do that. And we see it as they're supposed to. Or should I say the children see it as our parents are supposed to do that. No. The parents do that for you because they want you to have clean clothes. When you're looking after yourself, you need to have clean clothes. It's a necessity, it definitely is, but your parents would prefer you to have clean clothes. Yeah? There we go. I don't know if it is the same for you as it has been for me, but in your childhood, my brothers, in your childhood, were you made to do chores? This is an open-ended question. Like, you can answer. Send in your replies. Send in your comments, because there's going to be a ton of you out there that definitely have been made to do chores as a child, and you didn't want to do it. There is no way that you can honestly say, oh yeah, I wanted to. Well, actually, no. There's certain things that you could have wanted to do, because certain time when my mum asked me to go and cut the grass in the garden, yeah, certain time I was on that. I was like, yep, gladly, I'll go and do that. Give me the mower. Yeah, give me the mower. I'll definitely go and do that one. Or like when I had to go up to my grandmother's house and help her certain time. Yep, I'm going up to my nan's. Yep, I'll go. Actually, let me rephrase that. Yeah, I'm not talking about my nan. I'm talking about my grandmother, my nan's mum. Yeah, my great grandmother. That's why I call her my grandmother. Yeah, that woman there. When I used to have to go up to her house, and I'm talking regular, to go and do things for her, go and hang up Christmas decorations, go and take out rubbish. I do the same thing for my nan now. Thinking about it, I have done that for my grandmother as well. I used to do that. My mum would send me around there to go and empty the bins or just go and sit with her for a bit. But you see, as a youth with my grandmother, yeah, where she lived wasn't too far from where my brethren was anyway. So I used to just go out the back garden, or should I say out the back door from my gran's, and I could literally shout for my brethren. I wasn't allowed to do that, but I could literally shout for my brethren because I could always hear them. So what I used to do was just whistle, and they knew if I was at my grandmother's. But going there, my mum making me, I want to say my mum making me go there and complete tasks for my nan, do chores for my grandmother, go around to my nan's houses, both my nans, yeah, and do chores for them. And then I'm doing chores for my mum as well. Now I'm looking at it and it's not chores. They were never chores. They were things that you're supposed to do as part of a family. It's not a chore going to see your grandparents. It's not a chore having to wash dishes. It's not a chore sweeping up the floor or washing your clothes. Those are not chores. Those are necessary things that have to be done. Those are tasks that need to be completed. Yes, there may be a bit, a bit niggling where you're like, oh, I don't really want to do that, and you've got to keep them. They're repetitive. These are things that are very, very extremely repetitive. But because they are repetitive, they should be easy for us. They're easy for us because we're the parents. They're easy for us because we've already been through that. They're easy for us because we've had to learn how to take care of ourselves. Children don't know that. Some children do. And I will say that because some children have to learn that extremely early. A lot earlier than others. and some don't. For some, it's just, yeah, I'm just doing this. Oh, I don't have to do that. My mum does it. Listen, my friends all knew what my mum was like. All of my friends knew what my mum was like. To the point where my friends could come around my house, yeah, and my mum would ask them to sweep the floor. You think anyone could tell my mum no? You think any one of my brethren could tell my mum no? And I'm talking about dudes who, you see them out on road, yeah, and you wouldn't even want to know them. And they're like, yes, Miss Ange, yeah. And I'm like, whoa, hold on. But like, put it this way, yeah. My mum was that kind of person that my brethren knew. That even if they was doing certain things, yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna tell my mum. I know it sounds mad. I'm opening my water. Don't worry. It's sparkling blackcurrant and cherry flavored water. Anyway, back to the thing. Yeah, brother, I know certain dudes that I'm gonna tell my mum, and they'll be like, don't be stupid, why are you gonna do that? Because they knew what my mum was about. But on the same hand, they also knew that there's certain things you can't ask me to do. There's certain times you can't ask me to be around, because they knew my mum had me doing certain things. Yeah, there's been whole heap of times I've been in trouble in my house, supposed to have done chores, not done them, and got grounded. I'm standing at the front door or my bedroom window talking to my friends, and they're like, you better make sure you do your ironing so you can come outside. Imagine my friends are telling me to do my ironing as well, so I can get to go and play outside. What? Youths nowadays don't know what that's like, you know. Your brethren are telling you to get your chores done so you can come outside and play. Youths now don't get that. Not at all. And I think one of the biggest questions that comes out of all of this, and me asking you this, is, do your children actually do any chores in your house? Or do your children complete tasks? Let's not call them chores. Yeah, because they're tasks. They're daily tasks that need to be completed. Some tasks get completed more times in a week than others, like taking out the bin. If you've only got small bins in your house, those bins need to be emptied quite regularly. If you've got, if it's you one staying in your house, or it's you and your children, or you, your children and your partner, you got more than 2 people's clothes to wash. Sometimes you may need to do it regularly, or at a set time, or a set day in a week, and you do as many loads as you can, because you know what you're going to get done. But completing these tasks, as I said already, for parents, we've already had to learn how to do this. The children haven't learned. And I feel that the children today, in the 21st century, this generation, they're not made to do chores. So there's certain things that they're losing. It's like, do you know how many of my friends, I could single-handedly count how many friends I know that know how to cook. But I cannot confidently say that my son's friends can cook also. I can't confidently say that, because I don't know, and I may never know. But the point is, these children are not getting the same lessons taught to them, that my generation had taught to us. Those lessons are being lost, and in major fashions and major ways. And for me, it is a bad thing. And I'll tell you why it's a bad thing. Because I understand that teaching your children is paramount to life. You have to teach them things, otherwise they get lost. And none of us want our children lost. And the reason why I say if you don't teach them things, they get lost, is because they get caught up in so much other junk and rubbish in their life. They don't know how to sift through it, so they get lost. When you've got some form of structure, i.e. your chores, your daily, weekly, monthly tasks that need to be completed, you have some form of structure. So even if you've got X amount of different things clouding you, you've got some routine that you can follow to navigate through things. It makes things easier. Or should I say, I find it makes things easier. That's just me. Right, I need to reach for a cup. This place is just, I forget, like there's 2 microphones here. I can just walk around. Well, actually no, I can't, because that would be silly. Like my second mic's moving like someone's touching it. I know. Bit silly. I could have just drank out the bottle, but what kind of human being would I be if I wasn't drinking water out of a cup? Anyway, back to the matter at hand. My brothers, chores are a big thing. My brother will tell you, yeah. Nay's youths do the same thing. Like, I can't say the same thing, yeah. Nay's youths got the same as mine, bruv. They know on Saturdays and Sundays, and whenever you're told chores need to be done, they better be done. They better be done. I've told my youths from young, do what you need to do first, and you can do what you want to do. That's what my mum used to tell me. Make sure you do what you need to do, then you can do whatever you want to do. And I never really got that until, like I said, like between 15 and 17. I don't even want to say, it must have been the years, literally, it was literally between 15 and 17, because it was almost like I got into trouble. It was like for about every other day for about a month. Let's just say the scenario is I'm getting into trouble at least 2 to 3 times a week. Yeah? For a whole month. Snap. Just like that. It's done. And I didn't even realize until about a month later, and my mum hadn't even said anything to me. And I'm washing the dishes, my mum hasn't told me to. I'm ironing clothes, my mum hasn't told me to. I'm sweeping the floor, my mum hasn't told me to. And I'm like, my mum ain't even said anything. And she hasn't said anything. I'm not getting into trouble. I'm not being told to do things. And it was just simple little things like, I use a copper washer. There's nothing in the sink then. And I'm not going to say it was all the time I did this, because it wasn't. Don't get it twisted, bros. It was not all the time. But it was over a period where I was like, right, do you know what? This is different. And I don't know, since then, it just got better and better. Until I'm where I am today. I'm feeling dope about it. My missus has done bare things to me. All her and my brothers played tricks on, man. Believe they set man up. I was cleaning the house one time and they actually set man up, dropped fluff on the floor, you know, to watch man pick it up. But then, on the other hand, yeah, you might laugh at that and say, ha, you're an idiot, how you find that? Listen, man was meticulous back in the day. Yeah. Over the years, it's gotten a bit less and less, because you grow when you're like, all right, I'll ease up on that. But it's coming back. I just wanted to share this with you, bros, because I know how important chores can be, and I know how hard it is when you've got to do them yourself, and I know how hard it is when you've got children there that you're telling constantly not all the time, but you're trying to remind them as best you can that these are things that need to be done, and they may not be learning the lessons as quickly as you would like them to be learning them. It's not gonna happen overnight. It's not gonna snap. Oh yeah, boom. It's just done. As I said, for me, it was a period of time where I was doing stuff and then I noticed. And as I said, it was a period of time of me getting into trouble. And then over a next period of time, I realized that there was nothing. You see, the thing is, we don't realize until after the fact. And a lot of us do that. I do it myself. I don't realize a lot of things until after the fact, until I'm able to sit down and analyze it and think about it and say, okay, right. More time than not, I'm not gonna lie to you, fathers. You know what? A lot of things I didn't even realize until I had my own children. Yeah, believe that. Your children will show you so much about who you are and who you think you are. Chores, tasks, whatever you call them. The majority of us have all had to undertake some form of chores or tasks in our childhood. We may not have found them to be fulfilling at that present moment in time, but over time we understand the importance and significance of these tasks being and having to be completed. Teaching our children is necessary. It's not an, oh, I might do it. It's an, oh, I should be doing this. My brothers and fathers, we all want our children to be great. Let's teach them how to have great homes first. Brothers, I'm D. This is the Future Fathers FF podcast. And I beg you, stay blessed.